So big news at my place.
Right.
2 reasons.
Left the wife. Met young birds. So when people see you with your grandson, it's really going to be your son now down the shops.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine having a kid at your age. What about...
did you see the news last night?
Yeah. Who was it? Mick Jagger? No. Who had one at 79? Someone else?
Someone recently, and then a guy at 92 had one.
Ooh.
I mean, number one...
Was it Mick Jagger? No, who was it that had one the other night at 79?
Yeah, no, it was someone famous.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, what are you... You're going to be dead.
Yeah.
You won't even make it to his, 10th birthday.
But how would he be... I mean, you can at that age, you can hardly get upstairs, let alone get up.
Yeah, get it up.
I mean, really? I mean, you have to applaud it, and... Jeez. How old's your dad?
No, Robert De Niro.
De Niro. Yes.
Robert De Niro.
At 79, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a baby.
Oof.
How does Robert speak? What is he?
You're looking at me? Is that it? You're looking at me? I don't know. I can't do De Niro. Hey, kid.
Yeah.
You're looking at me? Yeah, I wonder if you're my granddad or my dad. I'm your dad.
Anyway, big news in my place. Getting the back fence painted.
Yeah, big job.
Big job, but excited for 2 reasons. One, remember some years ago we talked about on this podcast, I painted dick and balls on the fence. Thought it was pretty funny because and then tried to paint over it, and it wouldn't go away because it was the wrong sort of paint that I covered it up with. And if you looked in the right light,
you could see it.
You could see it. So number one, I'm going to get rid of that. Number 2, I don't know whether you remember, but my painter, I like him because he calls me boss.
Oh yeah, boss man. I hear he's boss man.
What do you think, boss? I think that's pretty good painting, Sonny. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, that's good, boss. Hey, Glenn. What, Sonny? You should do a TV show about me. Oh, what would we call it? Sonny with brush.
That's what he said.
He said he wants to do a TV show because I would be a good TV show. I won't do the accent. He said it'd be a good TV show. Just follow me around all the painting jobs I do. And, they've done stupider ideas.
Well, it's like you can do the voiceover. Sonny's in a problem. The primer is not sticking to the wall.
It appears that the client has an inappropriate sign on the fence and it's shining through. Sonny will save the day.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Well, they do it on people that work at the airport, so why can't they do a painter?
Yeah, I know.
They do one on garbage guys, too.
Yeah, they offered me to do that job. The clean-up guy.
That was great. I love that. The demolition man.
No, some guy who... The dirty jobs guy. They wanted to do an Australian version of that.
Oh, right.
Dirty jobs?
Yeah, there is dirty jobs.
Yeah, which I think was, which is getting the sludge out of stuff and things like that.
Yeah, oil.
So, anyway, I will maintain my coffee-making ability.
Yeah.
Was it Sonny and his friend who didn't like the chocolate? I think it was because he brought a friend one day and
now the client's bringing out chocolates that he doesn't want. Look at Sonny's face. No, boss. I
don't like the chocolates, boss. Oh, okay. What would you like, jam fancy? Because my standard issue is jam fancy and a couple of bits of chocolate. That's pretty good. And a coffee made from my machine on a tray, and I wear an apron with nothing on. And as I turn and walk back to the house, you can see me naked.
Sonny's being sexually harassed by the client. Well, you maybe need to step up your thing here and maybe a salad sandwich or a schnitzel wrap or.
Can you assume that
lunch stuff?
Oh, I
suppose. If you provide lunch, though, they'll expect it every day. Though.
Yeah, I've never done that for a tradie.
No.
But I have had beers at the end. I got carpet recently. We had beers at the end. Yeah. I don't drink beer, so I just stood there and watched them drink beer. It's a bit weird. We
had a fencing guy, and I used to go and get Kieran a coffee, and then this young guy, he's like, Kieran like, do you want a coffee? He goes, no, I don't drink coffee, but love a milkshake. And I saw him like 10 years later. He goes, hey, it's a milkshake guy. They went and got him a milkshake.
So did you go and get him a milkshake?
Yeah, well, they made him at the same place.
I see. So we're going out to get a coffee.
Do you want one?
Do you want one? Yeah. No, but I'd like...
Love a milkshake.
Yeah. What's that joke?
We ended up getting him about 8 milkshakes, I reckon, over the journey, over his fencing, career.
Well, it's come out today and then use that we're not drinking enough milk. 97% of people don't drink enough milk, which I reckon the research has been done by the the dairy board.
Yeah.
No disrespect, you've got to sell your product.
Yeah.
But is milk? What's your feeling on milk?
I like milk, but I question whether you're meant to drink it because it comes from a cow.
Yeah, I mean, it's when your body needs a lot of nutrition. The breast milk, what? Okay, so those cows, are they tricked into thinking that they've got calves all the time?
Oh, maybe that's it. I did a gig in the country the other day, and the guy, I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a dairy farmer. And I go, don't you have to get back to, hook up the cows? He goes, nah, man, it's all robots these days.
Robots?
And after the gig, he showed me, he goes, and he had them all on his phone. He could look. He goes, look, one's coming in now. And so when the cows feel the urge to get milked, they walk into the stall, the robot shuts the door, and the robots milk it.
Can I?
Because this guy was old enough to.
Could we maybe go around there one day?
Yeah. Glenn needs to be milked. And he's at the pub on his phone. Bloody hell, there's some blokes in there. Oh, God, look at that.
Uncle Arthur's in one of the stalls, and he's, oh, my God, I can't believe what's going on.
Anyway, we should play the music. I think we've reached that.
Welcome to Somehow Related Now. Please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Because he was old enough to remember milking them himself, but now he's got all these machines.
Oh, because you often hear about people who, and they would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and bring them in. But it must be good for the cows because they go, yeah, I feel like a bit of a milk now. I feel like I'm carrying a bit.
And they go into the machine and it milks
them. Go to the machine. I mean, that's amazing. They drop their teat on the,
it's incredible.
On the thing.
Well, you train them to sort of do it, he said. And I saw it on video. I saw it on his film. It's like cow porn.
So really, no wonder he's got time to go out and see gigs because...
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's doing it...
So hello to all the farmers listening out there. Yeah. I know we've got a few farmers.
Oh, well, someone wrote a review the other day, said, what do they do for a living? Painters?
Painters.
Yeah, giving us something to... you wrote a review. You know who you are. Thanks for giving painters something to listen to while they, paint the walls. So there you go. That's a syncretic... What's that word?
Compliment.
No, that's
some feedback.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity, yeah. Well, you're getting the wall painted now, but you would have done some painting in your life, and it can be a bit...
Edges are hard, aren't they?
Oh.
Yeah, dribbles.
A bit boring.
Yeah.
But, it's boring, but you've got to stay focused because you've got to do a good job.
Yeah, and then you step back and go, oh, no,
it's a real skill.
It's a real skill.
Once you do it yourself, oof.
Yeah, it's roller,
paintbrush,
spray gun. I reckon they'll do. I hope they do the fence with a spray gun.
Yeah, right.
I feel sorry for the spiders. It's all full of spiders. The fence.
Are they going to cop it?
Anyway.
Well, let's get our topics, shall we? So on this podcast, we get two topics. We've got to work out how they're related. All right.
You sound like a school teacher there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Hey, wouldn't this be a good
educational podcast?
Yeah, we could go into schools and do this and earn a lot of money.
No, thanks. Last time I went and gave a talk, this was so long ago, I reckon I was still on Nova, and there was a primary school teacher who seemed to be obsessed by celebrities, and so she was the only one person in the school getting anyone she could approach from TV or radio. And, it was that scattergun approach where 1 out of 100 would say yes. So, it was like me and, I don't know, there was other people that had gone and given a talk, like, say, I don't know, Ed Phillips or someone, like they just answered the letter. And so anyway, I talked to the kids and they're not that interested. She was interested. They're not that interested. They were like grade 5 maybe.
Yeah.
And then the kid's like, have you met anyone famous? I'm like, yeah. Like I've met Will Smith, Harrison Ford? And the kid goes, no, like famous, like really famous from a reality show. And I'm like who? And some kid said, like Hot Dogs from Big Brother. I'm like, they're not proper famous. And then I had an argument with them about, what about the who used to do the bum dance, Have you met her?
Yeah.
Have you met her that does the bum dance? I'm like, yeah, I actually have met them, but I don't consider them famous. They are, they're more famous than you. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Having an argument with grade 5s about...
I am worthwhile having here. today.
Well, I didn't care about me, but surely you're interested that I've met Harrison Ford, who's, he's in Star Wars.
We are.
As opposed to hot dogs
Absolutely,
from Big Brother 3.
We're off the grid. We're not part of it anymore.
Anyway.
You should do bowling clubs. You should do RSLs.
I did one on Friday night.
Golf clubs.
I've done
them.
Anyway, we should get our topics.
Yep.
What are the topics, Sam? She's famous.
Cavemen and Flutes.
Well, there we go. Cavemen and Flutes.
Okay, how many... I often look up this fact and then forget it. But how many million years ago did cavemen
walk the earth?
Yes.
I always
Have we come and gone? Did we come? No, we did. We kept on evolving, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's not like the dinosaurs. We did. We were we weren't here with the dinosaurs, of course.
No, but the cavemen were there with remnants of the dinosaurs, like the woolly mammoths, for example.
Okay.
You know the woolly mammoths,
Yeah.
the big elephants with tusks.
Yep.
They were around for them. So, and there were different types of cavemen too, weren't there? And one would turn up more superior than the other and wipe the other lot out.
And the land was different. It's not like it was the oceans were different. It was Neanderthal. What is a Neanderthal?
I think Neanderthals got wiped out, didn't they, by the Homo sapiens? Isn't that right? I only know because the kids do it, and when you do their homework with them, you read all about it.
So the Homo
really
sapiens.
interesting.
What are we? We're Homo sapiens, aren't
I
we?
think we are.
So
we're going to get this really wrong because, and they study this.
Was it millions of years ago?
I think it was.
Let's say 2.5 million.
I think it was
something like that. Yeah.
Who's the guy? And they found a perfectly formed caveman who fell off a cliff into a glacier or something like that, and he basically froze. And so they got his clothes, they got what was in his stomach.
Yep.
And you can go and see him. He's in like a museum in the top of Italy, I think. And they study him to see what he had. But he'd already had a rough life. He had he had injuries and stuff, but not from his death, just from being a caveman running around.
God. Because the cavemen in some ways were better evolved than we are. Because they had big... The face had bigger nostril.
Yeah, right.
So we've become mouth breathers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And restricted area in here, in through the nasal area, because if you breathe through your nose, you get the nitric oxide, which relaxes you and allows you get more oxygen, cleans the air, blah 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 blah. But if you're a mouth breather, which is not good, and that's
is that why you tape your mouth at night? You still taping your mouth?
Yes.
Bit of masking tape.
And
your wife's like, try the duct tape.
Here, I'll do it for you. Do it for you. Just stay down.
Gaffer tape on
Yes,
your
I do
mouth.
tape my mouth closed. I have, as I've been through before, and you said to me, what are you, some sort of gimp? I have earplugs.
Yeah.
I have one earplug in one ear. I have a radio in the other ear.
Wow.
I have an eye patch that I wear sometimes.
Wow.
And I have tape over my mouth.
Did your burglars break in? Just oh my God, some kind of freak show in here.
Well,
it's an S&M. S&M.
Sometimes I put all the gear on,
so
I can't hear anything. But Selena does say something, and she goes, "Oh, we have to do and so tomorrow." What did you say? What?
Yeah.
I can't hear properly because I'm all taped up.
Well, it's the same with my sleeping mask. I put that on, and then Kira wants to have a conversation. I'm like, oh.
We are such great people to live with, aren't we?
Great partners.
But yeah, that's right. You probably are a mouth breather in bed.
I would be.
But if you want to, if you're listening to this...
I think I've got the oxygen mask that pushes the oxygen up my nose.
That's why, yes. I was going to say, without that...
I'd be a mouth... I was a mouth breather for sure.
Yeah.
So the cavemen, they were nose breathers.
Yeah, well, they had bigger nostrils, so that was easier for them. And their teeth were so much more better formed because they had room, whereas we don't have as much room in our mouth for our teeth. And that's anyway. It's all in the book Breathe if you want to read about it.
Breathe. Oh yeah, not the one that you wrote. This is an actual book called Breathe.
Yeah, there's an actual book called Breathe, which is very popular. Still read by. It's still in the charts. I was going to say something.
Breathe.
Anyway,
I've written the one called Poo. I prefer it. It's the other end of the
scale. I'm sure there would be a book called
there
about
probably
that.
is. There probably is
because you get
gut health and all that. And they didn't just live in caves, cavemen. They made shelters.
Yes,
they lived in trees and stuff like that as well.
There's
not caves. Is there a cave around here where we could live? Probably not. You know?
I'm just trying to think. There are caves.
There's caves on the beach normally.
Well, you don't go on those because it's usually associated with sand. And
oh, really?
Yeah, because well, no. Having said that, there are rock ones as well. But where we go, there's limestoney things, and you go, oh, that looks fun, and then you come back the next day and they've fallen in. So you're going, don't go in there.
But if you're a caveman and you had the choice, say, to live in Australia in like the Wimmera or down on the coast, you'd choose the coast, wouldn't you? Surely they're like they have the brains of a normal person when they go, why are we here where it's all flat and there's nothing going on? We've been out by the beach, catch some fish. But I suppose there were different tribes and they used to fight. There'd be like the beach tribe that would fight the...
We're watching Alone at the moment, the Australian one set in Tasmania.
Yeah.
It's good. But it is people... You realise the fortitude, the courage that people have when really faced with it. Some people don't last long. Some people just... the ones who are slightly crazy tend to do better. They seem to... They're much more accepting.
The Otzi man was the guy I was thinking of. And the kids study him at school. And so he was in Switzerland, fell off a cliff. And he's like the only sort of perfect example of a mummified caveman they've got in the world. So.
Not unlike with the Jurassic Park where the mosquito bites the...
Yeah. It was in the lava or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the mosquito dies in lava. So therefore they've got the DNA for it, then they can rebuild the DNA from, is that right? From the mosquito's blood.
So now the Otzi man, you can go and see him. I think he's kept in like a giant fridge, and you look through the window and see, wow, look at that. He's got a sandwich and a drink. Oh no, that's the maintenance guy's put his lunch in there. Anyway, so they found an arrowhead embedded into his shoulder. So I think that's
so it would have been some sort of fight. Someone's been chasing him, and he's fallen off a cliff.
I think
so. Fallen on a glacier.
Something like that. He fell somewhere and got frozen.
Frozen. He wouldn't think it would be a frozen environment that he's living in.
Oh, Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
But Switzerland, he may have fell in the summer, stayed there till the winter, and then just, whatever.
So, cavemen, fashion. They were big on the fashion, on the animal skins.
Yeah, the animal skins. Well, his clothing is quite sophisticated. It's been stitched together and stuff. The Otzi man.
Just amazing, isn't it?
And they did the contents of his stomach, and he had quite a diet. He had like 3 types of meat in there, and a lot of vegetables and berries and stuff. So
not dissimilar to you and me after we've had the 3-grain salad with some chicken breast and
bit of bacon.
Yeah, not dissimilar to the
dissimilar.
Yeah. So what else? They're big for their sticks, spears.
Well, I think they would, making bows and arrows was a big thing when they invented them because it was good for felling animals because you would have some, I don't know if it was done along, well, in the movies you see it's done along gender lines, Glenn, where in the TV shows where the women stay near the cave and but they also go and gather stuff like, berries and fruit and vegetables they can find growing wild. And then the men would be sent out to hunt the animals.
And that's why when they often say fighting the animal at the cave door, meaning that's why you get ready to fight. Your heart rate goes up because do men have blood pressure more than women? I don't know. Maybe, anyway, do men get more scared? I don't know. So what else did they? Because the cliched image in the cartoons is always they carry a club.
Yeah, I don't know if they had clubs. They probably did have clubs, I reckon.
They wander around with a club and beat each other over the head if they got into a bit of a...
What were those movies? Remember they made those movies? I think Ringo Starr was in some of them.
We need to go to the official file, really, which is the Flintstones.
Oh.
Yeah, that is the official place if you want to find out anything about cavemen. You go to Fred and Wilma, Barney, Bam. And they had a dog, which was...
what was his name?
Was Dino?
Yeah, well done. Yeah, Dino.
Family from the town of
Bedrock.
They're
Yabba Dabba.
Everything right out of his story.
Great song.
Let's say the family down the street. Sorry.
I used to do jokes about the Flintstones, but but then there was
some of our younger listeners would not know what we're talking about.
But if you're like 30, you know the movie. that had John Goodman in it and stuff. He played what, Barney or Fred?
Interesting. The Alex, friend of the show, the grandson, they are showing him old episodes of Batman back from the 70s in the cartoon version because it's a lot less violent.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's a lot less, so it's, and the storylines are simple, the animation is simple, whereas nowadays it's so intricate.
Yeah.
Whereas back in those days, kind of the mouth just moved a bit and that was it. So it's easier for a 3-year-old to take it in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Nowadays it's all too much.
Yeah.
And quite easily too violent.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, because they'd be hitting each other, wouldn't they? With the domestic violence things going on these days, you wouldn't want to put that into a cartoon.
Yes, no, you can't put that in.
No. Cave paintings. They would have been big on the cave paintings, wouldn't they?
Cave paintings. Have you ever seen any of them, or
just the indigenous ones? I think.
Oh, you've seen more than me then. I don't even think I've even seen any of those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's like 25,000 years old.
I thought you were going to say 25,000 years ago.
Yeah. And
yeah,
I
they're
said,
pretty amazing.
Yeah. Would it be other? And I said, you got anything in the 50,000 range? I'd like to go a bit further down the track. Oh, no, incredible to think that you're looking at, like any work of art, it's, steeped in history. It's just the feeling that someone stood in that very spot.
Yeah.
It was one of those, where you have a swim at the rock pool. Went there by helicopter.
Wow.
Jumped off by the helicopter. This is up in Kimberley's. Yeah.
Swim the rock pool and then go look at the cave art.
Yeah. It's a fun afternoon. Bit weird with the pilot just watching you get in the water and swim around. Can you just go back to the helicopter for a while? Can you just go get us some lunch? So
amazing.
What else? Bow and arrow? The cavemen.
Yeah, they invented bows and arrows later. And they also had those sling things where they'd throw, where they use that weapon thing to throw rocks at animals.
Yeah, Russell Coit did that. Oh,
did he? Did he hit himself in the head or?
It went up in the air and he didn't know where it went and it landed back on his head. There you go.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well, we've had enough about cavemen, I reckon. I think we've talked a bit about cavemen. No, we obviously don't know that much about it.
They had rocks.
I suppose
they played music with rocks because didn't they bang rocks together or bang sticks together?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Drums. They would have hollowed out logs. Drums. Well, flutes. Surely that's where we're getting at with maybe they had flutes playing in the cave.
What is a okay? Can we talk? We'll talk about flutes then.
Let's talk about flutes. My son plays a flute. My youngest son.
He does not.
Yeah, he did it at school. I think pushed by his mother who used to play the flute at school.
Oh, right.
So we had to buy a flute.
Yeah, as you do. Where did you buy a new one or a second-hand one?
No, second-hand from the music swap shop.
Yeah.
And what I did, there were about 4 or 5, and the music swap shop's a great place in Carlton if you're in Melbourne, if you're a muso.
Yeah.
And they're all musos working there, but there's no real flautist working there. There's no one playing the flute.
Yep.
So the classic old rocker's like, I don't know, mate. I don't know much about flutes. I don't know, And so I sent the flute teacher, said she'll go in, and the guy goes, your teacher came in, she played them amazingly, mate. Yeah. Well, when you hear someone play the flute really well, it's very
when
impressive.
You stand right next to it,
yeah,
it's a really impressive thing.
So she picked out the one that we should buy, and we bought it, and then he's been playing that. Then, of course, he left primary school. That's a primary school thing,
Yeah.
And then I had it all ready to take back to the swap shop because you can take it back and sell it back to them,
Yep.
And he's like, no, I want to keep it. So,
so does he up in his room there? Does he bang out a bit of
no
Steely? Who were the bands that had flutes?
I think it might have been Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
Jethro Tull. Jethro Tull was
Men
the big
at Work.
one. Yes, very good. Greg Hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've reached the flute. There's not much flute in rock and roll. More folky kind of stuff.
It's woodwind, isn't it?
It's technically a woodwind. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, they sit with the clarinets and stuff.
And then in orchestra, there's more than one flute. There's flautists.
They flautists?
Yeah, flautists. And it's one of those instruments that you probably blow a lot of spit into it.
Yeah.
They probably get filled up. I reckon they have a dribble valve somewhere.
Oh, they do?
Do they?
I'm pretty sure they do. You pull them apart. Have you tried to play the flute?
I have. I remember my cousin, who went on to be a orthopedic surgeon, was studying flute because often when you go to university, you'll do something like that as to get your brain somewhere else. And he had a flute, and I used to play it upstairs with him. Oh, he played I Dance Around the Nude.
So he goes, Glenn, come up here, look at my flute out. Is that code word? That's interesting because doctors are often into music. They have a lot of doctors' orchestras and stuff. I did a gig for the surgeons at the Royal Melbourne and Specialists. I walk in, there's a guy playing a cello. I'm like, what's with the guy playing the cello? And they said, he's a surgeon. Yeah, well, it's because they have an intricate mind that needs to be. They don't want to obsess about. Oh, this is me saying this, but you often find that they are in their downtime. They do intricate things. That's true.
Do needlework, or they do crossword puzzles,
Music.
or they do so they get their brain rather than thinking about who they're going to stitch up tomorrow.
Yeah,
they use another part of their brain, which is really interesting that they
with the flute, you have to blow across.
Yeah, and you have to do this with your lip.
That's it.
You've got to put your top lip over your bottom lip.
Because our generation, we all played recorder at primary school.
Of course I never did.
Oh, you never did?
No. I don't think I did. I was probably offered it and I probably took typing.
No, we all had it in primary school. We all had to play it. Like in my generation, we all had a recorder.
No, you know what? We had one around the house, so I dare say I had to do something, but I don't remember. If I picked up one now,
Frere Sharkers. And sometimes they'd have the whole bucket of Dettol where they drop the recorders in.
I said they'd drop them in the bucket of Dettol so you could.
Awful.
Who would do that?
The teacher. Oh, maybe they would have had a monitor doing that. Some kid.
Who's on Dettol duty today?
He's on recorder Dettol bucket duty. Because what I'm going to say, I think the fingering system is the same. So it's like it's a similar,
to the side. Yep.
But you put the same fingers on the same keys. You get the same notes.
Yeah. I got to admit, if you go to a school concert and it's a recorder choir,
you like it?
Pretty hard to get through.
And there's all Don't worry, I've sat through many of those.
Yeah.
You know what you're waiting for? The drums. The drums are always good. When the kids get, there's always one really good drummer. Because, it's all that aggression. Was there a show off? There was a kid in our school, non-V, who used to play the violin. And so any opportunity, they get non-V up to... So
non-V?
He was Vietnamese, non-V, his name was. And we used to call him non-event.
Oh, right.
So, so here we go. They'd go, the principal would go, anyway, today in the assembly, non-V will be playing. And everyone was like, ah. But he wanted to play. I looked him up because we were talking about him one day with other high school people. He went to play for the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, this guy. So he was very good. I think when schools have that one star, they always drag him out of assemblies to play the instrument.
I know if I'm at a party and someone's got a violin in their back room. If you go across across all four strings with nothing pressed down on the strings, you'll play the start of some bloody
but flute you really need to know what you're doing because it'll just sound crappy.
No, this is violin.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
but see, you can almost play the violin. Yeah, but once you put a finger down on the string, it'll sound crap.
If you had to choose an instrument that's in the orchestra that you had to play, or what passion would you have? What instrument would you have most passion for to play?
I played the oboe at school, which is a woodwind instrument.
Wow, that would have been quite atmospheric.
It's double reed, so that means it's like a bassoon. So clarinet, you sort of go. Huh.
It had a big tube on it, didn't it?
No, it looks like a clarinet, the oboe, but it had a double reed thing you blow on. And
so you'd need a bit of blow power, wouldn't you?
Oh,
to make the reed go.
Yeah, and I played in high school. We never bought one. We just used a school one because they're quite expensive oboes. And then I thought, I'm going to play it in a comedy festival show I'd written, and I went and got one from the swap shop. Yeah. $1,200. They're expensive.
Jesus.
And it was so hard to play. So hard to play because you feel like you're having a stroke because you're blowing so hard your head feels like it's going to explode. What would you play?
Oh, well,
I would actually probably play the bass, but I could see you on the timpani drums. Boom, 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 boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
No, you're more of a flautist, I reckon.
I probably am a flautist.
Yeah,
and you would think I'm a violin guy, but I find this is terrible. but I find them a bit scratchy.
Yeah. Again, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, and when it's played beautifully, don't get me wrong. See, I'm probably more a cello man than I'm a violin man.
Cello, great. The sound of cello.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
My daughter played violin at primary school, and she used to say, "Did you hear me practicing, Dad?" I said, "Oh, thank God! I thought the cat was run over by a truck."
It's not hard to get it wrong. But I just think violin plays too much of a part in an orchestra. I want to hear more of the piano, more of your harp, more of your gentle,
They are the bit of the lead guitarist of the orchestra.
They are the lead guitar of the orchestra, and they kind of, and that.
Have you ever been to a classical music concert?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote an article about it. Like, I find it very disconcerting. You walk in, and all the musicians are already sort of sitting on stage, and they're not. There's no sense of show business.
No.
They're all like this. Oh, yeah, how was your weekend, Gary? Oh, yeah, I got this. Yeah. Hey, Phil walks in his jumper. He pulls it off with his clarinet. Sets up his clarinet.
He's got some Maccas there. He'll finish off. I mean, if you're going to do that stuff, do it backstage.
Do it behind the curtain.
And then walk out with a bit of ceremony.
There's something to be said for you walking in, there's a curtain, and then the curtain lifts. They're all ready to go. Instead of I couldn't believe how ramshackle it was. And there must be a reason.
There's some sort of tradition in that, whereas it goes, we're allowed to do this because we haven't started playing yet.
And I remember my manager got a message from the publicist of the orchestra.
Oh, and you wrote this in the article?
No, it was for The Age. I wrote this article. And when I had a regular column, and the publicist wanted to meet me to discuss my article.
Well,
I'm not going to meet the publicist to discuss what I wrote.
Well, maybe she was wanting to know what they could do better.
Well, I told in the article, get a bit of show business in there. But obviously it's been so set in stone that the way orchestras start is that they all just sort of wander out haphazard. Wayne takes off his jumper. Leanne sets up her cello. They have a bit of a chat, and then the conductor walks out and goes and taps on the thing. And
listen up. We're going to do the third movement. Oh, I thought we were doing the fourth. Nah,
it's interesting.
It was on the email. You're going to do the third. And conductors, they get a lot of cred.
Oh, well, have you seen Tar, the Kate Blanchett movie?
No.
Conductor?
No.
Tar? Yeah, she's like a megalomaniac or something. I think she got nominated for awards for it, but I haven't seen it.
Is it on at the moment?
Yeah.
What's your feeling on the conductors?
Well, I know a lot of people say, I think they do a good job because I think they do need one. You often go, why do you need one? But apparently you really do need one.
You got how many instruments in an orchestra? 50? No.
I met one the other day. He came and saw me do comedy. And he goes, we did Spicks and Specks together ages ago. He goes, I'm the conductor. I went, oh, yeah, I remember you. Yeah, he was an actual conductor. And I said, how many of you are there in the country? He said, probably about 20 conductors, full-time conductors. Well, it's good.
I mean, you got to know what the other blokes are doing while you're doing what you're doing.
Well, I often thought conductors were often the first violinist because, you see that in movies when the conductor runs off sick and the first violinist will stand up and take over.
Ah, right.
But he said he often the composers, they come from composing music to conducting.
Andre Rieu. That's just come to me. He's violin, isn't he?
Man, those concerts look terrible.
Does he conduct and play the violin?
Yeah, which is a thing I think they do sometimes. But he's more of a showman, isn't he?
He is so popular.
I know that, but why?
What I don't get why. Is he doing
crazy Dutch man?
Is it the sort of is he doing the uplifting stuff?
Yeah, and I think it's like classical music for dummies. I think that kind of thing.
Oh,
you know
right.
what I mean?
So it's
and I think people just get talked along going to the concert just for. We're going to see Andre Rieu. I'm me saying to you, we're going to see Elton John. You want a ticket?
Yeah.
I'll go see Elton John.
And you can sing along a bit. With the symphony, you can't normally sing along.
No, and all the old ladies get up and sing along.
Because my mum was a member of the Australian Symphony Orchestra, and we used to go along occasionally and sit through it. But, good for 20 minutes. Isn't it? Yeah. And they also do things where they often will show a film and do the music live for the...
Yeah, we went to one of them.
What they do?
Yeah. So you go and see Star Wars, and they'll do the music of Star Wars.
And that's another thing that an orchestra can do is that they will often record the music in a studio watching the film.
Yeah,
when it's the soundtrack. Because for years there, I used to often buy. I used to love a bit of a soundtrack to drive around to. And like there were great ones. What were the big ones? Oh shit, I can't remember now.
Jaws, Star Wars.
Yeah. All the.
Sometimes with the ABC, when we're doing Speaks and Specs, you go to change into your clown costume, whatever. You walk past because the orchestra people were in the same area.
Yep.
And there'd be some guy like practicing his oboe, like sound amazing.
Yeah.
Sound amazing. You look in, there's a woman playing the violin. Then you get put on your costume. You think, oh, we're all doing art here.
Yeah, we're all doing this together. So like famous movies
with flutes
was Picnic, pan flutes. Is that like I know it. There's all the notes are there. I've seen them. Short one right through to a really long one.
Yeah.
And they go.
Well,
that's Picnic at Hanging Rock. Very atmospheric.
Miranda. When we went up to Picnic at Hanging Rock for my mother-in-law's birthday, my daughter dressed up as Miranda when she was about 10.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And we walked up the rock and a few people yelled out, Miranda!
What a great thing to do.
Miranda, come back!
I was thinking they should do a remake of Picnic at Hanging Rock, but,
Well, they did do a remake.
Did they?
Yeah, they did a remake 10 years ago, maybe.
Was it a TV series?
Yeah, a TV series.
Yeah. But they should do one, in the name of sexual equality, they should do one at a boys' school.
True. So who is it? It's not Miranda. It's
Miranda.
Miranda can be a boy's name.
Mirando.
Yeah, Mirando.
So
the Italian kid. Mirando.
Hey, you want to go for a walk?
Hang on, you get a bit of the flute in the background.
Yeah. What do you want to do now?
I don't know, Miranda. I want to go have a smoke behind the rocks.
You got a pack of smokes?
Yeah, I got some smokes. Got some Winnie Blues.
We'll give you the matches. You carry the matches because we don't want to get caught.
No,
you have the matches. You have the cigarettes, and we'll go up. Okay, let's go. But we'll go separately.
Okay.
So we're walking. This is good.
Mirando, where are you, mate? Mirando,
we need the matches.
Miranda, come back.
Miranda, don't go up there.
Come back,
Miranda, you idiot.
Oh, you can see smoke behind the rock. He's having it without us, the bugger.
That was a quick make believe.
Atmospheric.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need some thinking music. Why don't we? We could have some.
We could have.
Right.
I mean,
love to hear a bit of Greg Ham's flute, but we can't
because of copyright. We can't hear that. Can we have? Is there a scene from a trailer for a movie?
With
is
flute?
There the opening theme from the Flintstones? Sort of sung that pretty accurately. Could we do a make? I mean, my calling is to, as we do so well, we recreate moments in history.
We do.
So we can go back to
the caveman, to Osty Man when he was bashed
2.5 million years ago with the cavemen, because I would imagine they'd still be competitive back in that day.
Yeah.
They could be comparing sticks and rocks and stuff like that.
Oh, maybe someone's got a new rock. I'll have a new rock.
Oh, you got the latest rock.
So what's your name? Didn't they have names like Ugg and...
Yeah, Ulganag.
Ulganag. Okay, all right, let's do it.
So you be Ug, I'll be Ugg.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I'll be walking out of my cave.
Yeah.
Oh, g'day, Ugg.
G'day, Ug. Lovely day.
It's beautiful.
Just a quick question. Are we prehistoric or post-historic?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. We're BC, I know that.
Yeah. And are we Neanderthals?
We're Neanderthals.
Oh, what are the guys that we don't like?
Homo sapiens.
Homo sapiens. I do not like
so
those
annoying.
guys.
They think they're superior.
I know.
In fact, they probably are.
They probably are superior. Are they going to... Are they
fight them?
Yeah.
You're going to fight them.
What's that?
Oh, that's my new iRock. This is the iRock 14.
Oh, you're telling me a new one? I've got the iRock 11.
You've only got the iRock 11?
Yeah. I mean, it's good, but it's not great. What are the things?
Man, this is fantastic. I mean, like your one, it can it can bang stuff. Like
yeah. Oh, yeah. I love banging mine.
Well, like beating, wheat and stuff to make flour.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Excellent. What else can it do? It helps me with my cave art. It can use it to scratch and draw on the wall.
So it captures images. That's incredible. Oh, you're doing it now. I can see that. Oh, you've drawn a picture of me. That's very good.
Yeah.
What else does it do?
Well, this is the best feature. It can order food. Yeah.
Hang on a second. What do you mean order food? What are you talking about?
The IROC 15 orders food. Okay, so see that woolly mammal over there?
Yeah.
I just go and I throw it. Oh, I got it on the head.
I've got to say,
Bounces back. I got my IROC. I've got my food.
that is uber impressive.
Yeah, impressive. All I need now is a guy on a bicycle to pick it up and bring it to me.
Oh,
We haven't
God.
invented bicycles yet, though.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Because I heard, what's his name? Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he lives down at Cave number 3.
yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that because I have a lot of trouble sleeping.
Oh, it has a sleep function.
Yeah, because I'm worried about the woolly mammoth coming to the cave door,
Yeah.
and I wake up in the middle of the night and blah, blah, blah. So you're telling me the I-15 IROC has a sleep function?
Absolutely has a sleep function. All right, I'll just hit you in the head with it.
Oh, hang on a second.
This is the
No,
function.
hang on. No, he said that you hit yourself in the head with it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, all right, okay.
Can I have a go?
You have a go. There you
Here
go.
we
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so you hit you in the head. Go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh,
You asleep?
no.
Okay, do it again.
Ow! Ow!
You asleep?
No, I've got a sore head.
You're feeling a bit dizzy. Wait,
Feeling a bit dizzy.
one more time.
I just I'm going to go really hard this
Yeah,
time.
Okay, here we go.
You go.
You falling asleep? There we go. The IROC 15. Thank you. I have it back. Are you asleep yet?
Not quite.
Oh, let me have a go.
Oh! 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 Hey! Oh! Oh! Good night.
Ah, see, it works.
Okay. The old Arganug. Yeah.
It could be a TV series. All right. Well, what is your
Well, I reckon it would be because I reckon the flute would have been one of the banging the rocks together would be the number one making of music.
Yes.
I reckon the flute was number 2, and I reckon it was because they had an old bone or something, or an old. Yeah, I reckon it would come from bone, and they blew in the bone because you take an old bone, it would be hollow inside.
Yeah.
You drill some holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon the flute was the second musical instrument invented by the Homo sapiens.
I think I'm just going to agree with you because I don't know what else I could suggest. Well, what is the answer, Sam?
The oldest musical instrument in the world, a 60,000-year-old Neanderthal flute, is a treasure of global significance. It was discovered in Divya Babe Cave near Sino and has been declared by experts to have been made by Neanderthals. As far as we now know, Neanderthals were the first among the closest human relatives that made musical instruments. The flutes were made from animal bones.
Oh, I was right.
Yep.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Oh,
Tell you what, that's what a great way to remember your dog. You know, just hollow out his leg bones. Right. Well, what of the Mitzi? Oh, Mitzi died, but I tell you what, we've got this.
a little flute that I can play. Yeah, can you play that bit over there?
No, that's
we're
we're not playing that bit. That had no bone in it. I know it looks like a flute, but it had no bone in it.